House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Coming back at you like we never left, Jason Salas and Liz Duenas here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam, and we are talking more about Guam's condominium market, a thriving and lucrative business if ever there was one. So, Liz, half a day once again?
Half a day.
Okay. I want to frame this discussion very, very specifically because we've already talked about the state of Guam's market when it comes to condominiums, what the HOA fees and the common area fees are. Now I'm wondering, we've always talked to this point about owning individual units, right? What if I want to buy the entire thing? Like say we have a building and it's got 4 units in it, 8 units, some round small number. What if I want to buy the whole thing? I actually live in one. I would assumedly rent out the other 3 units, and I would at least believe in principle that it would pay for itself.
Well, if you're buying, right now we've got 28 units currently on the market for multifamily. We had more, but of course that's diminished.
That's 28 buildings, right?
28 buildings. Okay. Simply because investors are coming in. We've got a number of things going on in the market. We've got contractors looking for housing, and then we've got investors looking for apartment buildings because either they're looking at it to house workers, their workers who are coming to do work here, or they're looking at it to house local market or even military tenants. So the prices range. I mean, you could have a duplex for, let's say, $249. Right now, I just checked it. That's the lowest on the market, and it goes up over $2 million. So right now, we have a 24-unit apartment complex that's on the market for $2 million, and it's in the process of being sold. So out there, for example, in Manila, there's a 5-plex, and in the 5-plex, there are 3 bedrooms, 2-story, and they're 2.5 bath. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, and that one's on the market for $1.2 million. Now, it's usually advertised by rent, buy, occupy it, and then rent the others. So if you're looking at doing that, you have to play the numbers to see whether the mortgage that you're paying, is it going to be satisfied by getting renters in the building, and 2 things. One is to think about, will it pay for the mortgage, or you would help subsidize it? But then what kind of tenants can you get? You always want to ask that question, because if you're only getting $800 tenants, or are you getting military tenants, what are you going to have to do with that project to upgrade it in order to draw the higher rent?
And there is a difference, as you've said, between like a buck sergeant and say like a major or a colonel.
Exactly. And as investors, we always want the higher rental value. But if your building that you're purchasing is in a neighborhood probably not attractive to gain that tenancy, then you might want to rethink it. You may look at, well, if this neighborhood only could garner, let's say, a $1,200 rental or a $1,000 rental, you're going to have to weigh the numbers. Am I going to get a good return on this? In some respects, some people want to look at it residence. It means more to them in terms of living in that, owning it and living in it, that at least when they pay for it, it more than pays for itself because they're occupying it. So looking at it in terms of, I'm paying rent, that is attributed to the mortgage, and then this dollar amount from the other units will also help.
Okay, now obviously I'm going to have to get a business license to do this because I'd be collecting on rent from my tenants.
You would have to pay GRTs, gross receipt taxes. You need a business license.
Right.
And one of the key elements is if you are targeting tenants, you have to get a business license.
Okay.
Military tenants, the housing office always requires a business license.
Can I accept Section 8 clients right off the bat, or is there a specific licensure that I need for that?
So even for Section 8 tenants, you still need your license. They would have to come and inspect to make sure that everything within the unit complies with regulations, government regulations, and then they will approve it. If it doesn't comply, they're going to tell you, here's a list of what you need to do in order to comply. So you have to pass the test. So the government, yes, both government of Guam, if you're doing Section 8, they'd have to do an inspection. And also they evaluate, if you're asking X amount, does it meet their requirements? Military housing also would do the same. They will come and inspect the property as well to make sure all their standards are complied with.
You said you have to have like marble kitchen fixtures and.
Not necessarily so, but you have to make sure you've
It's gotta be nice.
Yeah. Your, what is it? Your GFCI switches, your smoke detectors. There are a number of requirements that are in place in order to meet their inspection.
Okay, now the other
requirements.
thing I'm wondering about, Liz, is my responsibility as the landlord. Because if I own a 4-unit building, I live in one of them
Right.
rent free because I own the place, right?
Right.
I've got 3 tenants. That's 3 sets of problems. That's 3 streams of revenue for me. But can I hire you guys as like my property manager, or do I
Yes.
have to physically go there and fix everything?
You could choose to take care of it for yourself, but if you don't want to deal with the headaches associated with people calling you in the middle of the night or different issues associated with maintenance, then yes, you could hire Remax Diamond Realty, and we could take care. We've got a division dedicated strictly to handle property management.
You can be my super,
Yes.
and you are super.
Thank you.
You're just like Schneider from that old TV show, One Day at a Time. Love that guy. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very, very informative. And thank you for watching. Hope you were taking notes. If you didn't, scrub back. Really good stuff here, and we will see you next time.